Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys how I made this beautiful, delicious, and very moist and soft cornbread. Just look at that. That looks so good. I'm telling you, it tastes as good as it looks. Perfect color. Everything. All right, so we're going to start off with some salted butter. Now what I need to do here, I'm going to melt this butter. I'm going to melt it in the oven. I normally do melt the butter so I can add it to the mix. So actually this butter that I have right now, it's actually frozen. So typically to melt butter, it doesn't really take that long, maybe 2-3 minutes. Now maybe 5 minutes tops, probably that. But I have the oven preheated to 350. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this in to get this butter starting to melt so that we can get started and get this batter mixed up. Also, make sure when you're baking your cornbread, make sure it's in the middle of the oven, so the middle rack. All right, we're gonna start off with the ingredients. We have 3 eggs here. Everything is shown here. I'm gonna have a list of the ingredients that I use. Of course, your cornmeal, sugar, flour. I use self-rising flour, milk, vegetable oil, and the butter. I'm just mixing the dry ingredients just to get those all incorporated properly. Now normally when I add my eggs, I beat my eggs before I put them in there. So that's what you're seeing. That's not the butter, that's actually the eggs. So I put the eggs in there, we're putting the milk in, and you're gonna need some good elbow grease, because if you have a stand mixer, I suggest you use that, but it really doesn't take that long to mix this up. So I'll just mix it by hand. And just make sure you don't get any cramps or something in your hand or in your arm. That can happen sometime. That's why I suggest using a hand mixer or a stand mixer. But if you're old school like me, then do it by hand. Now I actually eyeball a lot of the ingredients when I'm making this. I don't really use measurements, but I took the liberty of making the list of ingredients that you need to make it. That's why you see me adding more milk. All right, now the butter is nice and melted. It's not just, you don't want it to be brown. It's perfect. So we're just adding this into the batter right now. Then we're gonna go ahead and start mixing back up. A hand mixer would come in handy right now. All right, there we go. The consistency is coming together, but I also use it's not really a hand mixer, it's like a blender type thing that I use, because I really should have sifted my flour. You really don't have to do that, but I just like my batter being, as smooth as I can get it. So I kind of pulsate through the batter just to, break up any flour pockets or any lumps that may be in there. But you still don't want to overdo this and overmix. what I'm doing, I'm adding the oil. I normally add the oil last. Doesn't really matter when you add it. I don't think it does. But this is how I do it. I'm gonna continue to mix that until I get the proper consistency of how I want it to look. And as you can see, it looks like it's smoothing out pretty well, you know, with the blender that I used, or the hand blender that I used to pulverize rather the little lumps or something in there. Now, as you can see, it looks very smooth, and it looks a great consistency. I'm satisfied with it. So it really should look like this, not too thick, not too thin. And it, you know, it just, how you see how it falls and cascades, and it's just nice and smooth. That's how I like the consistency to look. And the best way to find out if it's going to be good, of course, taste the batter, but I wouldn't suggest you do that. I do it, really not supposed to do it, because I mean, you can get sick, so I've heard, because of the raw egg, but I've been doing that for years. But yeah, don't do it. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm pouring this in. What I'm doing, I'm pouring this in this 13. This is actually a 13 by 9 glass baking dish that I have. And as you can see, I didn't butter it, because this is the same pan I melted the butter in, so you don't have to spray anything in there if you melt it in the same pan. So we're just putting everything in this pan. We're gonna make sure it's nice and settled and leveled. We're gonna pop this in the oven for about, I wanna say 25 to 30 minutes on 350. And this is how it comes out. Nice and golden brown, not too dark, not too light. This just looks great. I'm getting tongue twisted by just looking at this right now, that's why. But this looks great. And the last step that I do, I spread a little butter on top of it, so you can have that extra flavor, the buttery flavor, when you bite into the cornbread. And actually I use that also to help the top of it to be a little soft, a little softer. Because when you take it out the oven, it can be not crunchy, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm just putting butter on the top, just a little bit, a little thin layer. And I'm going to cover this with some wax paper. And I'm also going to put over top of the wax paper just like a dishcloth or something, so that the steam can soften the crust, or the top of the cornbread. And I'll usually let that sit there for maybe 5 minutes, and then we're good to go. So I'm taking it off. You see how it's kind of sweating a little bit? That's actually what I was trying to say. I wanted to sweat a little bit, so it'll become a little softer on top. And there you have it. That just looks so good. And I guarantee you, if you make this, you are gonna love this. And I can say this probably could serve maybe 8 to 10 people at the most. And I usually cut these in the small squares. Well, they're not that small, but yeah, usually in small squares. we go. Look at that. That looks so, it's just so good. Nice and golden brown. The top is nice and golden. And the bottom of it is, it's a nice golden brown at the bottom. And you definitely do not want it to get darker than this right here at the bottom, because, and then it'll become burnt, and then whoever eats it, they're gonna be talking about you. So there you go. That's my cornbread. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.